Hey y'all, I'm out in the garden and I am just going to take you through and show you what the garden is looking like during this time of transition from summer to fall. And I'm also going to sit down really quickly and just catch you guys up on the fall seedlings that we started a few weeks ago. And we are going to pot up a couple of things that have outgrown their little seed starting cell. One quick thing before we get started, we just wanted to say hello and thank you to Asia over at Yellow Door Homestead who told some of her viewers about our channel. We appreciate the love and we have really enjoyed catching up on some of your content as well. So just wanted to throw that in there really quickly. Alrighty, so here is a look at the garden space in the middle, Kevin's garden. We have pulled just about everything out. Lima beans were growing here, soybeans. We had some milkweed and some sunflowers started, but this space is pretty bare right now. I am not sure if Kevin will choose to come through and amend this soil if he wants to plant in it again. His original intention was to just kind of be as hands-off as possible and see what he could get out of this space. So I'm not sure what this will look like for fall and winter. We'll see. So some of our other beds, it's kind of a tricky time because we still have some things fruiting and we also have some things finishing up. So I've already put more chicken manure and animal bedding on some of these beds. But as you can see, like right here, we still have pumpkins coming in. So what I'm trying to do is just pull the things that are finished. The pumpkins I'll probably keep. I have already harvested a handful of different sorts of pumpkins. White pumpkins, little baby bear pumpkins, Long Island cheese pumpkins. I'll show you guys those sometime soon, but we still have pumpkins and pumpkin season is just now kicking off, so I'm gonna leave the pumpkin plants. Something else that is just sort of starting to take off really well are these habanero peppers. This one right here is not quite done yet, but we've been picking the ripe ones. And yep, don't pick it yet though. I'm gonna be using these for a hot sauce. Archer's garden is looking kind of sparse right now. I did come through and help him pull some of the things that were growing in his planter boxes, but it looks like we have some amaranth coming back, some zinnias, so we'll need to top these off with some compost or some chicken bedding before we replant in them. And that's kind of the name of the game everywhere right now. So I did come through, pulled this rainbow corn. We did get a couple of good ears, but not a huge harvest from this bed right here. But right now it's just about amending. I haven't pulled this burgundy okra yet because I'm using it to feed my chickens. I grow okra every year and I will pickle a couple jars, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't eat a whole ton of it. So I still got that going. I cleaned out this bed right here. Another thing that I've been working on is getting all of the fruit that we showed you guys in a recent video planted. So I need to come through and plant these figs along the back. Our peppers are still doing well. I pulled from these pepper plants last week and made some cowboy candy, but we've still got jalapenos coming in. It's not a whole lot, like I said. I I've already harvested, but hey, Sully. Oranges on this tree are looking pretty good. It needed some fertilizer, so I put some on there. It's yellowing a bit, so hopefully that fertilizer will help. And then over here, we still have some bell peppers coming in. Let's see these. These are, oh, got a bug. Cali Sweet, so they will turn orange, I believe. Yep, that is one, Sully.
Mama.
There's one that's kind of starting to turn. I see that grasshopper. Hopped away. But yeah, all of these pepper plants I'll hang on to for now. Okay, so this in-ground bed right here has been cleared. This is where we had some of our canary melons and our green okra. I cleared that out. I'm thinking I'm gonna plant some breadseed poppies right here. I have not tried poppies at this property yet. We did pretty well with them at the old house. And Sully loves poppy seeds with his cucumbers and hummus. So I'm just gonna see if we can get some of those. We'll see what happens. So this space already has lots of manure on it. I'm probably gonna smooth it out a bit before I just sprinkle those seeds all over this entire bed. And I'm considering doing the same thing over there where we have that big patch of zinnias. But as far as the raised beds go, you can see I've come through and just started clearing some of those things out. Now, some of our beds they'll still have some things in them. Like this bed right here, I'm waiting on some of these loofahs to dry out. And then across the bottom here, I've got asparagus. So I would like to set this bed up to be perennial with the asparagus. We've got some of this lemon eucalyptus across the back and some thyme, which will go, the thyme will go through the winter. So this is one that you may be able to see sort of peter out a little later on in the season, as opposed to these that are completely cleared out already or will be cleared out. Let's take a look on the other side. Got our turkey and a chick that we hatched out, still doing well. Not sure we'll be having that turkey for Thanksgiving. Might be a Christmas turkey at this rate. Our cayennes are still producing fairly well. These dahlias, I'm gonna have to look into whether I should cut these back or not. They should come back next year. I may dig the tubers out and sort of consolidate them. I tried this year to do a more mixed bed approach, and it went well as far as productivity, but I wasn't really a huge fan of how it looked. So I'm not sure I will mix and match next year, but we'll see. These paprika peppers right here have some pest damage. If you guys don't know, we don't really spray a whole lot or put anything. Well, I mean, we don't spray at all. So I don't really come out here and tend to pests. If something is gonna get taken, you know, that's just kind of part of it. But the peppers themselves don't look bad at all. I just have to wait for these to get red. So they just aren't ripe yet. And we had, there's the hornworm. So you see, hopefully I don't lose it, all of these bare branches right here. I knew there was a hornworm somewhere on here, and I came looking for it earlier and I couldn't spot it because they're so well camouflaged, but there it is. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this guy off, feed it to my chickens, and hopefully won't spot any more. So this is a tomato hornworm, and they can do some damage to plants. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm scared of this thing. Let's see if I can pinch it off back here without touching it. Sully, you see the caterpillar? Ooh. All right, so he's out of here. Chickens will find that guy. All right, I'll show you guys this last bed really quickly. Still have some cosmos blooming over here. I think that's the sunshine mix, and it's super cheery and bright, which I really enjoy. And then aside from that, the majority of what we've got going on in this bed is our peppers. We do have some green onion down here that I come and pull from, but peppers, that's the name of the game right now. So lots of peppers. Been pickling these for salads. These are sweet bananas. I believe, I don't know what kind these are. I almost feel like they kind of crossed, but these could have been old seeds that I saved. So you're being crying? Okay.
No,
And we still have lots of peppers coming in at the top. This foliage is nice and deep green, and this is from the chicken coop bedding that I've been adding to the beds, which I wasn't certain about doing, but I was listening to a webinar, and the creator of the Back to Eden garden actually mentioned it being good and, you know, decent, not harmful to the plants, because oftentimes you have wood shavings or sawdust of some sort, and that can absorb.
This one.
I see that.
Yucky.
That can absorb some of the hotness and excess nitrogen. So I've just been adding the chicken bedding directly to these raised beds, and the peppers are loving it. It's a bit hot today, but we've got more bell peppers over here. The leaves are a little pouty. And this huge zinnia patch is finishing up. I'm trying to wait to pull this because I'd like to do some seed saving. The pollinators have really been on this in full force. They're starting to dwindle down. We've had some days right around the 65-degree mark. And so I still have some butterflies, but I'm not seeing quite as many as I was seeing before. So I'll probably give these zinnias a couple more weeks before I chop them down, move them around. I would love to have zinnias growing along the entire fence line, but we'll see what happens. That might take some time to get established. Okay, here is a look at some of the things that we started a few weeks back. Some of this has already been potted up, like these little cabbages right here. Some of it needs to be potted up. And so what I'm looking at are these cells that are really heavily sown with seed, and I've got a few plants here or there sort of starting to take the lead. I could thin these seedlings out. I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is just kind of pop the whole plug out and put it into a larger pot like this so that these seedlings have a bit more room. As far as our fall seedlings go, we are in the low country of South Carolina, Zone 8B. And as you can see in the garden, there is not a whole lot of shade. There is not any shade. And so one issue that I've had attempting to start these cool season crops a little early to give myself a bit of a head start if I want to do a second succession or just keep us in food, is that it's very hard to keep these things cool with no shade. We did have a couple, I'd say probably about a week of cooler, very wet weather, and I was constantly taking these trays from this table outside into the greenhouse so that everything didn't get dislodged from heavy rains. It was cool enough to keep them in the greenhouse as long as the weather was overcast, but as soon as the sun comes back out, the greenhouse is no longer an option because it is just entirely too hot. So some of the things that we started have struggled. Some of these broccoli starts don't look so hot. And what I did, now that we are having cooler nights and even some days in the high 60s, low 70s, is I just came back, I started another tray. That's just kind of part of it. Sometimes you forget to water, and because the seeds are right on top, it doesn't take many days of forgetting to water for your seedlings that have germinated to just completely wilt and dry out. So if that happens to you, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just start again. It's okay. That's kind of just part of it. So I have seedlings that are at different stages, like I showed you guys earlier. I have some that have already been potted up. I have some right here. These are actually Archer's red romaine lettuce that need to be potted up. And then I have some that are just germinating again because I came back and I sowed another round of seeds to help make up for things that I may have lost in the last 2 or 3 weeks when it was really hot, really rainy. I forgot to water or left them outside overnight and they were soaking in water for 2 days. So I will show you, let's see. Okay, so here we have some super red romaine. You know, these things are starting to get root bound and come through the bottom of these trays a little bit. So what I'm gonna do to kind of loosen this up is just squeeze this plug a little bit. And I'm not sure if this is best practice, but I usually just take the plant if I can and pop it out like this. So these roots, I mean, it's not terribly bad, but it's time for this plant, yeah, to get potted up. So root bound is when the roots just start circling around themselves in the bottom of the little cell tray that you got them in. So I'm gonna take this plug right here, and I've got a pot, sorry Sully, that's already got some soil in it. And I'm just going to kind of push that dirt aside. So you can see I've got like a little well right there in the middle, and that's where I'm going to stick this plant in. And that is how I pot up. Like so, and then you can kind of just make sure there's no air pockets around the side. So that is lettuce that's been potted up. I forgot my Sharpie, but you would want to label these as you're potting them up so that you can remember what you've got. Let's see. Something else. So I'm just gonna come in. I see some sage that's ready.
Are you saw a worm right there?
I didn't see a worm, not today. Got my little hole created. I'm gonna come over here. Let's see. Grab my, this is sage. Just pop it in just like that. And that's ready to go. So that's what potting up looks like. If you're new and you haven't had to pot up before, what you're going to be looking for is just checking to see if you see any roots coming out of the bottom of your cell trays. If your starts are really densely sown and it's been a couple weeks, and your cells are really tiny, just check to make sure that you don't have anything that is becoming root bound, because you don't want that. One last time, make a little hole, take my plug, pop it in, and that's it. So from here, for me, these will get planted in the beds or in our in-ground gardens. I won't pot these up again. So this will be the last transplant, the last temporary transplant before they go to the garden. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Hope that helps you out if you are at the point of potting up your plants. See you guys soon. Bye.